make sure when you're setting your goals for business that you approach this in this way. And if you approach it in this way, I believe, this is just my belief and my experience, I believe that you'll be able to accomplish more in less time. Hey there, Cornell Jermaine here, back with another episode. Listen, I'm so glad that you're here to join me right here, right now, today. I hope something is said in this episode that will help you, that will encourage you, that will impact you in your journey. Listen, today we're going to talk about the 5 characteristics of a goal. And I'm specifically going to speak to it as it pertains to business or entrepreneurship or somebody who has business goals. But obviously, it can be used across the board, whether it's to lose weight, whether it's to buy a home, whatever it may be. These simple characteristics will help you to properly think and process your goal. That way you can have a plan that is accomplishable. The first one, in goal setting, you must make sure that your goal is specific. I can really speak to this because I remember when I started out in business, some may say, well, that's specific enough, but my only goal was to just make money. When you get into business and really understand it, it's really your approach should be different. Your approach should be a little more detailed. But my goal was to make money. And looking back on that time, I see how reckless it was. It was nice and things were great and made money, but I see how if I had a specific goal at that time that was just a general making money goal, how the trajectory of my path could have been a little different, and different as in maybe better. However, I developed along the way, but there may be some things that I could have developed or embraced or learned a little earlier had I had a specific goal. So for those who are entering into entrepreneurship, or you're already in entrepreneurship and you're trying to grow or expand, etc., and you have a goal, make sure that it is specific. And when I say specific, what does that look like? Let's take me, for instance. If I take myself back to that period when I first started in business and I was, roughly 17 years old, I take myself back to that period. If I were a little more specific, I would have said my goal is to do 7 clients a day. A little bit different from just making money, right? Because making money could have been, oh, you just got 1 client. Okay, yeah, you made money. Oh, you just did 2 clients a day. Oh, you made money. It was specific, but not detailed enough to really have a complete, sustained business. You get what I'm saying? The goal could have been, I want to do 7 clients a day. Or it could have been, I want to make $1,000 a week. Very specific. So not just, I want to make money, but how much do you want to make? And how many people do you want to have to service to make that money? The next thing, and I want to shout out my coach who is probably looking at this video, who taught me this some time ago, and I hope you see that your lessons have really stuck with me and they've taken me through, but I'm glad and so blessed to have you in my life. But anyway, so specific, your goals must be specific. The next one, your goal must be measurable. And when I say measurable, it must be something that you can say, okay, this is how much I got done. This is how close I am. You get what I'm saying? So if your goal is to make $1,000 a week, then you can look at each day after you finish and say, okay, I made 300. Oh, I made 4. Okay, I'm 7. Okay, I'm almost there. I made 2 more today. Oh, I'm 8. Okay, I'm 80% there. Boom, I made 1,000. You know what I'm saying? It's measurable. You have a goal to make money. Okay. And now you say, I'll have a goal to make $1,000. Okay, well that means I need to make maybe $200 a day or maybe $150 a day, depending on how many days I work a week. Now it's measurable. The next thing is it must be attainable. I'm not going to have a goal of saying, I'm gonna make $1 million this year and I don't even have a business. I don't even have a job. It's not attainable. If it's attainable, it will keep your goal from being so lofty and so big that it becomes overwhelming. If you ain't got a job, the 9 times out of 10, your goal to make $1 million over the next 12 months, unless you're doing something shady, is probably not likely. So when we're talking about making goals that are attainable, we're talking about understanding and assessing where we are, the skill sets, talents, whatever it is that we have to serve or to give or to sell, whatever the products, and how many we can sell or what our true measure of ability is within a certain time frame. You know what I mean? You're not gonna say, I'm gonna run a 5K next week and you can't even walk a block without losing your breath.
left. So that's where we have to get it. Sometimes we live in a fantasy where it's great, because many people have just taught us, oh, just speak it. And yes, that is great. You want to speak it. You want to proclaim it. You want to speak over your life. You want to have positive affirmations and declarations. But if you are delusional, your declarations might make you look mentally ill because you're saying this, you're saying that, but you still in the same spot. You wouldn't filled out no application. I'm gonna make $1 million this year. I speak it over my life. And I get it. I'm not challenging the faith. I'm not challenging that. I understand what speaking in faith is like. I understand that. But I also know that the word teaches us faith without works is dead. And I'm not trying to go into that either. You just speaking faith is not enough if you're not getting up to make a move. So I'm gonna make $1 million. Declaring that over yourself, and all you do is get up, eat, sleep, and do it all over again the next day, and you're gonna make $1 million, and you shoving down somebody else's throat and in their face about how rich you about to be because you become delusional. And people will start to then look at you and you be like, okay, here we go again. So make sure that your goal is attainable. I'm not telling you in any way to minimize yourself. I'm telling you to be conscious of where you are, realistic about what you're doing. Utilize your faith, but understand that without works, your faith ain't really gonna do too much. I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope it does not turn you off, but I hope it opens up a layer of understanding that helps you to understand how goals really get achieved. Now your goal needs to be realistic, and that's what leads me from the attainable. So attainable means I can measure, I can see my way through this. Realistic means, okay, that's out of your wheelhouse. That doesn't even make sense. When I think of an unrealistic goal, it doesn't even make sense. It goes beyond just, I'm speaking faith. It just leaves you in this stratosphere of just foolishness where you just look like a fool. Well, it kind of looks like $1 million and when you don't got a job. But we're talking about a goal. We're talking about you setting out on a mission to accomplish something. That's what a goal is. So we're not talking about just these acts of God and these miraculous things that can happen. We're talking about a goal of you setting out on a mission to achieve something. And if you're setting out on a mission to achieve or to make $1 million next week and you ain't got a job or any money in the bank today, that's not only unattainable, but it's unrealistic. They must be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and also time-bound. Now, this is something that I think many people can understand because time-bound means, listen, this is how much time I'm gonna give this goal. I wanna lose 40 pounds by December 1st. It's specific, it's measurable, because now I'm able to get on the scale to see how much I've lost. It's attainable, because if I work hard enough, I can get it. It's realistic, because it's not unrealistic for me to use 40 pounds. That's not bad, you know what I mean? And it's time bound. You've given yourself a deadline. And I know sometimes that is something that people often don't do because maybe it makes you feel pressured. But I think giving yourself a timeline or a deadline will help you to stay on task and stay focused. And if you do that and put it somewhere where you can see it every day or frequently, you can now say, oh, I'm getting closer. Oh, I said December 1st, I only got 30 days to December 1st. I've only lost 25 pounds. I gotta put some more work in. You know what I mean? So now you can measure where you are against the time that you've set, and you can see how much more work that you gotta do to get it done. You get what I'm saying? So this is what encompasses a goal. The specificness, the specificity of it, how measurable it is, attainable it is, how realistic and time sensitive it is. If you approach your goals, no matter what they are, whether they're business, personal, whatever the case may be, in this way, I think and I speak for us because I'm speaking for myself as well, I think we can attain more of our goals and become more fulfilled in life because we'll see these check marks. It will empower you to continue, to move, to pursue. Make sure when you're setting your goals for business that you approach this in this way. And if you approach it in this way, I believe, this is just my belief and my experience, I believe that you'll be able to accomplish more in less time. I thank you for joining me. And if you like this video, if it was helpful, or if you just found it entertaining, maybe you ain't trying to accomplish no goals, you just like to sit and watch people talk, whatever the case may be. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. And by all means, subscribe to the channel and share it with a friend, somebody that may need to hear it. I'll see you back here, same place, same time next week. Until then, take care.
Be